Everybody, and we lost about 100 people watching, or at least waiting for the stream here due to all the technical difficulties, I'm assuming, that are happening across the board everywhere. Somebody's got the thing playing in the background here. Oh, okay, they figured it out. Welcome, everybody, once again. It's all right. To 4K for you. I'm Tom Connors. With me is Greg of FanZcene. How are you doing? Getting high, man.
I'm doing good.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, man.
Let's go get some Taco Bell, man. Yes, man. Definitely it's 4K20 for you today, I swear. We'll get into that here shortly. And also joining us from Astro Skull Media is Mike. How you doing?
All right. Just kind of going through this evening with all these sites being down.
Right. Glad to have you back again. But yeah, Twitter, Facebook, all have had a problem. Oh, I just got a bunch of messages here. I think the messaging, oh, I guess not. So I had messages and then the messaging still didn't work. Like I could get them from the one part. I could see new messages, but I can't get to the messages. So things are working, but they're not working. So yeah, hopefully you guys can find your way back to the stream for those who haven't yet. And welcome again. It's definitely my fault, as Greasy Panham says. That's probably the straightest thing he's ever said before. Otherwise,
I blame the Chinese spy balloons.
It probably is. It is definitely Chinese spy balloons. But welcome to the program, folks. Valliant will be along shortly, as long as the internet doesn't go down on his car. That is, but yeah. So welcome to the program. We've got a few rumors and announcements, mostly announcements, I think, today, right, Greg?
Yes, mostly. I do have one rumor though.
Well, you know what? Let's not waste any time. Let's start off with that rumor. What do we got?
All right, now I haven't seen this confirmed anywhere, but I'm hearing that coming to 4K and Blu-ray like they did before, Stranger Things season 3 and 4 are coming. No date, but I'm hearing that that's a possibility. So that's like the only rumor I have at the moment. So
there we go. The only rumor we have at the moment. So the rest of this tonight is going to be announcements. And I'll start off with this. We actually got a look at Bill Hunt was the first place I saw this. But then this is the one that the Disc Father posted, but we got a kind of a look at what the probable artwork for the Next Generation films will look like when they come out on 4/4/23. So there you go. If you're interested in what the art is going to be,
this is the classic poster art.
Yeah.
What was that? Sorry, Mike.
That's not really surprising. I mean, it's not surprising because the original Crew movies also featured the original poster art too. So
yeah, they all had a uniformed background with the Starscape thing.
Right.
This one looks a little different with each one having their own. So I wonder if they'll actually stick with this or if they'll try and find a more uniformed method, or we'll see. But there you go. There's a look at that. And of course, as we said, those will be out 4/4/23. So
isn't First Contact already available on 4K on Paramount Plus?
I don't know about Paramount Plus, but I know it is. I think on like Apple TV and stuff like that. So yeah, like
I don't think,
iTunes. I mean, not Apple TV.
I don't think it is on iTunes, but I'm pretty sure Paramount Plus has it though.
I could have swore Bill Hunt said it was on iTunes.
Oh, well, I'm gonna have to check that out then.
I don't know, because I keep waiting for it to be on Vudu, but Vudu hadn't got it in 4K yet. So, but it doesn't matter because the Blu-ray is going to be coming out now. So
yeah,
by that point. Whatever.
I'm gonna check it because I own it on iTunes, so I'm gonna have to check that, see if that's true.
Yeah, sometimes I think don't they upgrade them automatically too?
iTunes will upgrade your film automatically as long as you purchased it on iTunes. If you brought movies in from Movies Anywhere, they don't upgrade.
All right,
if you actually
gotcha.
purchased it on iTunes, they do upgrade.
Primark Vulcan asks with $1.99, any chance of 4K Hang 'em High or Pale Rider? I would think good chances. Didn't we already hear about Pale Rider possibly, or?
I would figure it's like Pale Rider and Hang 'em High is like two of the last Eastwood Westerns that Kino hasn't
some of the
done
few,
yet. So.
Yeah, I was gonna say I would see Kino doing those soon.
Well, Warner Brothers will probably do Pale Rider, I imagine.
Do they own Pale Rider?
Yeah,
okay.
Warner has Pale Rider, so. But Hang 'em
I
High,
gotta imagine.
I could definitely see Kino doing.
I'd say I'm pretty sure that's an MGM one.
Yeah,
that's MGM. Yeah,
Hang 'em High is one of my favorite. It's even got the skipper from what the hell is that show? Gilligan's Island. The skipper's in it. I love it. That's a good one.
Yeah, it was. I know Hang 'em High was always one of my favorites too. So
First
I would
Contact
imagine.
First Contact still HD on iTunes.
Oh, maybe Bill's wrong then. All right. Well, as far as Pale Rider though, yeah, that's probably going to be up to Warner. But on that note, we might as well jump into that.
And that may be part of the big set.
Yeah, we don't know the logistics on this yet, but we got to look at the big Warner Brothers collection set. It's going to come out in September. Looks like it has movies from all 10 eras of the 100 years. The downside of this is you probably own a lot of these already.
Yeah.
And they're coming in these stupid folder things, so I'm like not happy about that at all. But
yeah, I think I own every one that's not already out yet.
But I think they were very strategic in showing that most of I'm trying to see, I don't see anything yet that hasn't already been released on 4K in here. Or at least announced.
I think Enter the Dragon.
Well, we're pretty solid on that announcement. Like that.
Well, okay, yeah, stuff that's
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Nothing that has not been announced yet. What is this? Okay, that's Willy Wonka. No, yeah, I'm pretty sure everything on here has been, that's Lost Boys, and yeah, because The Last Dragon is the only other thing. Or what's this up here in the corner? I can't tell what that is.
Don't know. Can't see it.
Yeah, I can't either. I can't tell what that is up in the corner. Can't tell what that is. Is that Robert De Niro? I can't tell. And that looks like a young Richard Gere or somebody else. There's Clint Eastwood. That's been Unforgiven though. We already got it.
Goodfellas is included in one of those sets. Isn't
it? That's probably Goodfellas. You're right. That's probably what that is. I can't tell because this would be the 90s then. What the hell was that from? That's the 90s. I can't make out what the fuck that is.
Pretty Woman. No, that's just not. That's Disney.
No, that would be a different studio anyway. Yeah. No way that Richard Gere was that age and that ain't Richard Gere. It can't be. But yeah, so nothing really. Because this is Cool Hand. Is this Cool Hand Luke or is this something else here?
Yeah, I think Luke was included in the set.
Yeah, I was going to say, are they included like the Maltese Falcon and all them that they already announced?
Yeah, those are in the older ones, yeah. Singing in the Rain, Casablanca. The only other new one,
MGM films in the Warner Brothers sets.
I know there's some people discussing that, and I mean I'm kind of two minds of that, but like Rebel Without a Cause, I think is one of the only newer ones we've gotten here so far.
Yeah, at least you're getting them. I mean, yeah, they're not Warner Brothers movies, but at least you're getting them on 4K.
That's kind of where I'm looking at it as, but I mean, as far as them using it as part of their 100-year celebration.
I mean, we may have bought the rights later on for America, but
I mean, I did also point out that some of these movies, like if you don't count the older ones, like some of these movies have actually been under Warner Brothers possession longer than they ever were under MGM's anyway.
That's true.
So, like,
That's
at
true.
this point, it's been that many years. And yeah, so besides, like the only ones we got out of there that were movies that have not yet, I mean, they all got announced within the recent weeks here, like Cool Hand Luke, Maltese Falcon, stuff like that, Rebel Without a Cause. So we already know these movies were coming. So nothing in that box gave us anything that we hadn't already known. And like you said, Greg, you were before the show, you had looked and scoured to try and find any info on it that you could, and it's like pretty. And it doesn't come out till September.
That's true. Yeah, I was trying to find a list of like all the titles that was going to be in there, but like Mike said, I think the only one I really saw was Enter the Dragon. Was I think possibly confirmed, but nothing else really other than stuff that's already been released
or going to be released.
Going to be released, yes. Yeah. So I mean, it's a nice box set. I don't really like the sleeves. I don't think I'd actually buy it because I have most of them already as is. So
All I'd want out of is maybe the button set. That was kind of cool.
yeah, I like the worm.
The many Warner logos,
Yeah, the logo.
So yeah, other than that, so let's get into the announcements. Why don't we?
Oh, speaking of Star Trek,
Yes.
for any fans, Strange New Worlds is getting a 4K steelbook May 16th. So that was the only other Star Trek thing.
You know, the upside of this, though, I will say I'm glad you mentioned that, because that means that they're finally doing 4Ks for their Paramount Plus series.
Mm-hmm.
Because I was griping about, like, well, even though it's not Paramount Plus, but like Yellowstone.
Right.
It's in 4K. Why isn't it getting a 4K release?
Exactly.
So that means maybe this is a step in the right direction for Paramount to start releasing some of their shit in 4K from their shows and stuff. That'd be nice. Because shows usually don't get 4K releases. The only shows that have so far have been like Game of Thrones and a few
different
random
demographic.
shows. Exactly.
Different demographics buying Star Trek than Yellowstone.
Well, Yellowstone also is a big show, though, so I'm not going to count. I have a feeling we'll get a 4K Yellowstone box set in the next year.
Now that Costner's leaving.
That's the other thing, yeah. Especially if the show ends, they'll definitely do like an ultimate.
Yeah, big 4K box set or something, maybe.
But that's the thing, is that's a show that really, I love the vistas and the backgrounds and stuff in 4K on the show. So, like, yeah. It's definitely a nice have to have. It's a nice have if they could give it to us. So, yeah.
I mean, it was a double-edged sword with that because, like, it still cracks me up that they sold the streaming rights to Peacock, and then they created Paramount Plus, and it's like, oh, and we need some shows. Let's just get Taylor Sheridan to make a bunch of shows for us.
Yeah, he's got like 10 shows now. Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, we sold off our biggest show, so we'll just have him create more bigger shows.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
But yeah, so anyway, what else did you have for us?
Coming from Toho movie, it looks like, from Kurosawa, some Kurosawa films. Sanjura from 1960. I hope I probably said that wrong. From 1962 is coming to 4K. No HDR, though. And also Yojimbo from 1961, but no HDR either on 4K. So
I would imagine we're going to get a box set at some point here.
Eventually, yeah.
Well, probably Criterion will probably do a Sanjuro Yojimbo box set.
That's what I was thinking.
Raise a box set.
Mm-hmm.
I was thinking is Criterion's going to be doing a 4K. Because, okay, for those who don't know, I'm joking.
Sold together.
Well, here's the thing: is Criterion owns most of those movies that we've been announced. Like they've been kind of slowly beginning to announce, but they're all like a Japanese or Chinese or whatever. I think they're Japanese, obviously, or whatever announcements. Like they're not U.S., but Criterion owns most of those titles in the U.S.
Yeah, these are announcements for that Toho has put out.
Exactly. Like that's what I was trying to say. Sorry, thank you. That's what I meant. Yes. So like. I got distracted there for a minute. My bad. But like, so that's what I'm saying is we're supposed to be getting a new announcement from Criterion, I guess, tomorrow, according to Disfather. And I jokingly asked him, I'm like, that's great, but my show starts in 5 minutes. Can you give me a hint at least?
A little sneak peek.
A little something. So I have a feeling like maybe that some of these Kurosawa films might be popping up through Criterion, or you're right, we might get some huge box set announcement or something like that.
Probably.
Or at least the ones you said that are sold together, Yojimbo and but that's the thing is they've been announcing these slowly for the last couple of weeks here. So yeah. Of course, Yojimbo is the movie that was it Fistful of Dollars is based on?
Is that what it was from?
I think so.
Around there. It's a lot of the westerns.
I believe so.
Were remakes of Kurosawa films, so
yeah, because also that movie Last Man Standing or whatever with Bruce Willis was also a remake of Yojimbo. Mm-hmm. There's been like 10 remakes of Yojimbo.
Hey, man, if it's a great story, people's going to keep just telling it.
Well, all of Kurosawa's films have been ripped off endless times.
Yeah, multiple times.
Yeah. Yeah, C7 Samurai is also one of the first talked about when Criterion started doing 4K, so I would imagine that's another one. It's got to be on the horizon here soon.
The only thing that kind of gives me some pause is Toho is usually pretty cagey about letting their remastered prints out of the country.
Yeah, I mean, I noticed with the Godzilla set that was very hit and miss, mostly miss with some of the scans there.
Yeah, they're like
And I
really
come to learn that
protective
they
with that
were from
stuff.
like old 720p VHS analog masters or something like that. Somebody had told me that a lot of those scans were from.
Yeah, Criterion might not
Yeah.
have as much of a problem, but yeah, we'll see.
Yeah.
True.
But we'll have to see on that. But what else did you have for us?
Coming to us from Severn Films in April is a 3-disc Blu-ray set called Three Between the Sheets. It contains Black Venus, Ecstasy, and Melody of Passion. So,
interesting.
Yeah, I would assume those are some erotic films.
Yeah.
Because something that, for the lover out there that may want to get it, I'll probably buy it. But yes, there's that coming from Severn. And then also All Quiet on the Western Front is coming to 4K on March 28th from MPI Home Video. I've never heard. I think that's a Netflix film actually. So that was something new.
That's a new one.
So
That's
it
one
says,
that's nominated for Best Picture.
Yeah, it says coming out on March 28th.
It's the new one then, because the original film wouldn't be an Empire.
Yeah, it's the new one.
Release.
Yeah, it's the new one. It's got the actor. It looks like the same actor from
thinking.
1920 whatever or 1970. What's that movie where it's all one shot?
Oh, 17 or
1917.
It's 1917, I think it was. Yeah,
it looks like
the original All Quiet on Western Front's a Universal release. So
yeah,
it's definitely that.
That's what I was thinking too.
It's the new one. Yes, it's the new one.
Yeah. What else you got? For?
Hell is for Heroes from 1962, coming from Kino Lorber with a brand new HD master from a 4K scan of the original 35 millimeter camera negative. Okay. April 11th. So
it's kind of middle of the road. John Wayne.
Yeah, Steve McQueen in it.
No. Okay, I was saying, Steve McQueen. Okay.
Steve McQueen, Hell is for Heroes. Yeah, it's a war movie.
I'm thinking of the Hellfighters with John Wayne. Okay.
Yeah, so there's that. Then I put this in our group chat. RoboCop, the TV series, is getting another Blu-ray, this time from UK, and they promise that they are fixing the issues, that it will be in its original 4:3 aspect ratio, and that they're going from the actual source of the film to make a better Blu-ray. So that'll be available.
Who's behind it?
I'm not really sure. Screenbound. It's called Screenbound Pictures. There we are.
Screenbound's okay. Screenbound's not bad. Yeah, I have at least one friend that's living over in the UK that's definitely going to jump on this. I'm going to wait and see what he says about it before I do anything with it.
Yeah, let me know what's going on with that, because I definitely would like to know. Yeah.
Because I know the last release that came out, it was really bad. The Blu-ray was, Tom, they upscaled it.
It's almost unfucking watchable.
Yeah, they made it in widescreen and
it
cut off a bunch
so bad,
of stuff.
and it's all like and they've got like, which is weird because I guess this isn't a problem on the DVD, but there's all kinds of interlacing issues on the Blu-ray for some reason, and I don't know, but and then they claim it's an HD, and it's clearly just off of a VHS scan or whatever.
So it looks like, according to Screenbound Pictures and what they're doing, it's supposed to be better. So
Sander, the aspect ratio doesn't really matter when it comes to the resolution, as far as that goes. I mean, I have plenty of 4K films that are in the 4:3 ratio. In fact, they scanned Wizard of Oz, which is probably one of the biggest 4:3 films of all time, in like, what was it, 16K or some shit like that. It was a huge amount they scanned it in. So, because they didn't know if they'd ever be able to scan it again because of the way the shape the movie's in. And so they made sure they went way high over the resolution they were supposed to, or really had to, or whatever. You get black bars on the top and the bottom if it's in 235 as well. Like, so what's the difference?
And on a 4:3 formatted video, the black bars are they don't take up any of the resolution because they're empty space.
That's the beauty of anamorphic screen, right? Is that you get to actually use the resolution on the disc as opposed to that portion of the screen just being wasted.
Yeah, because
But I get what you're
and
saying.
Yeah, DVD and Blu-ray, there's only 2 aspect ratio. It's 16:9 and 4:3. And whenever you see black bars either on the sides or the top, that's just empty space that's not being used.
Yeah. In that case, you're right, Mike. Like if you're doing like something that's 230 or 235 or 240 aspect ratio, there is actual resolution being wasted on black bars there.
Right. Yeah. When it's a narrow aspect ratio, there is, but yeah.
It's kind of like not even, it doesn't really matter on digital like it did on video back in the day. See, like that was the problem I had with Letterboxd on video. And I liked Laserdisc, but it was still a problem. Is the smaller the picture got, like the wider the screen movie was, the more noise you had, right? Because you had a smaller portion of the screen where the actual picture was. And it was really hard to make out some things if it was a really widescreen film if you had a smaller TV. So like, now with digital TVs, none of that shit matters anymore. So yeah. But anyhow, moving on. What else did we have, Greg?
Okay, some more Kino Lorber titles coming to Blu-ray. No date yet, but the Renegade movie starring Burt Reynolds and Liza Minnelli from 1987.
Renegade.
Yes,
they had a bit of a spaz out about this. Did you see this, guys?
No, I did not.
I don't know if it's just somebody at the at their social media or what, but Kino went off on folks. They're like, look, we know not every movie is not going to be beloved by everybody or is a cinematic classic, but you don't need to come after us endlessly about how bad these movies are, blah, 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 blah. It was on Renegade.
That's crazy.
And it's like, and they were not implying that Renegade is a cinematic classic or something like that. But come on, guys, like kind of the thing. And I'm just like, okay, I kind of get it, but at the same time, they're being a bit bitchy. It's like, get over it, Like,
yeah.
Let me look and
see. I love
if it's
a good bad movie, so
yeah, like, but at the same time, it's like, okay, let's see if I can find. I think they took it down.
Burt Reynolds, Liza Minnelli, Rent-A-Cop. Screw that shit.
Because it's not. There's like no post between Rent-A-Cop 4 days ago and the Big Bus, which is probably another one you might have on your list.
Yes, I do have that.
So I think they deleted the post. They probably got some flack for it. But that was the gist of it. Was they're like, fucking A, guys. Not every movie we release is going to be this, like some people must have really, really pissed somebody off over Rent-A-Cop over there.
That's great. It's Kino Lorber, man. They specialize from bad to really good movies. So what's it matter?
Yeah, it just seemed like a weird rant from them. It's just like, who the fuck got on your wrong side or something today? Or is it just maybe somebody in the social media side of things or something or other, maybe got twisted a bit, but yeah.
Everybody has one of those days.
I know what you mean, right? Like, well, and the reason I say this is because, full disclosure, I know a lot of these companies, including our YouTube channels and stuff, sometimes the social media people that run these things, like we are not big enough yet, but some of these companies that are big enough have somebody hired to run these social media things. Most of the people that I know, they're the wokest people in their company. So that it just so happens that it corresponds with the fact that they happen to know how to run most of the shit, sadly. And this is another reason why these are the same kind of people who overrun Twitter and shit. So keep that in mind. But yeah, that aside, I think you're right, Mike. Maybe somebody just had a bad day, poked the wrong bear. I have no idea. But it's like, this is
really loved Liza Minnelli.
Yes,
Liza Minnelli
has a soft spot for Rent-A-Cop. Now, wasn't there another Burt Reynolds movie they announced too at the same time? I can't remember now.
I think it was what was it?
Announced?
The one, it was a Stroker, I think, wasn't it?
Stroker, I think, something like that. It's one with only one word title. I can't remember what it was.
Well, that'd be Stroker Ace. That's Warner Brothers anyway.
That's no, that's not it then.
No,
might be Stick.
Maybe that's it. It's something I had never. No, Heat. Heat. That's the
other one. Oh, yeah, the other one. Yeah, Heat.
Oh, yeah, Heat. Yeah.
They remade that movie, Jason Statham. Yeah. Just
see, I think I've seen Heat. When I was younger.
And out of all of those 80s, early 90s Burt Reynolds films, Stick and Sharky's Machine are pretty decent.
I think I got Sharky's Machine.
Yeah, Sharky's Machine and Stick are okay. The rest are garbage for the most part.
But like they don't all need to be Rent a Cop. So
They're not all cinematic masterpieces like Rent-A-Cop. No, and don't get me wrong. Anybody at Kino listening, if there is anybody actually listening, even my rant last week aside, which I still stand by 110%. Like, I get you, but just chill. It's cool.
Yeah,
We get it.
it's all
Like,
good.
look, there are some
I still love
assholes
you,
in the
Kino.
physical. Yeah, we still love you.
Yeah,
There's
I
some
love Kino.
assholes in the physical media community. We get it. We are some of the hardest people to make happy. And I see Bill Hunt and some of the other people deal with this shit on a constant basis. And sometimes I wish these guys would just let some of this shit slide. It's like, you cannot take this stuff so fucking personally.
Right.
Like,
Yeah, you just go on the either AVS or Blu-ray.com forums and you'll see some real nutcases trolling on the
exactly,
forums, man.
Like, and that's the thing is, I get it. Some of us AV nerds are some of the worst. I get it. We're the same. We're like a step above Trekkies in some cases, and that's about it. And Trekkies are the worst case of actually nerds there are, right? Like, so like
that was Lieutenant Worf in the episode with a barrel fell on his back.
He wasn't lieutenant yet.
True. He was paralyzed, and that was the greatest episode ever.
And it was temporary, but yes.
That episode is crazy. It really is. It's like lightly falls on his back, and he can't walk the whole episode. He's paralyzed. I'm like, what? It's a good one, though.
Here's another thing that, I'm going to point this out, because this is true. For some reason, this is my only other big bitch with Kino. Almost every single 4K movie I've gotten from them, I have had to wipe off.
Really?
Yes, it freezes somewhere in the disc every single time. It's almost been a given. And the reason I remember this and it pisses me off is because Kino is one of the few companies who doesn't have it built into the disc where my machine will remember where I left off. Because there's certain ones where they have it. It must be something in the disc that they have in the.
Yeah, it depends on what language they use to write the menu system.
Exactly. Oh, yeah, I was trying to say however they structure the disc, because certain companies will, certain companies won't. Even Vinegar Syndrome, like when I stop, they'll still have the Vinegar Syndrome thing pop up, but it'll still remember where I am in the disc, which is cool. Sony and a couple other companies have it. Warner, I think, has it. Universal has it, I think.
VHS still remembers.
VHS always remembers, yes. But yeah, that's the only thing I remember, because I remember that because almost every time I watch a Kino 4K, it's like I have to wipe the disc off to get through the whole movie. And I got to go back and find where I was in the disc. And that's another thing is, and the reason I remember this is because Kino has for some reason stopped having scene selections all of a sudden. I never noticed when they started doing that, but I've noticed that now. I'm like, so now I got to just skip to where I want to go. Go ahead.
I was saying I haven't noticed that myself, but I never use scene selections anyway, so.
Well, and until now, I never really had to too often, right? Like, so that's one of the reasons why I kind of noticed it. Where the fuck's the scene selection at? Yeah. And like the last few discs I've gotten, I've noticed, and it's not just Kino, but it's mostly Kino. I've noticed, and again, that's my gripe for the week, I guess. But Blu-ray menus have gotten very lazy. Yes,
they have. I mean, they'd quit hiring people to do the fancy intros and stuff. So happens.
They never had anybody there to push the technology like they did with DVD. That's the other problem.
Right.
So, but anyway, back to announcements.
The one that you mentioned before, The Big Bus from 1976, coming April 25th from Kino Lorber from a new 4K scan of the original 35mm camera negative. And then also from Kino Lorber, Cujo on 4K, coming soon with the brand new HDR Dolby Vision Master.
I'm going to have 5 copies before we know it.
Yeah. That's good. And then I think about got 2 more before we get to the big ones that we have planned. From Synapse Film, I've never heard of this, but it's called Invaluable, the True Story of an Epic Artist. And it's coming from Synapse Films. It's exclusively from Diabolic DVD. You get a limited slipcover, and the slipcovers are only 1,000. There's only 1,000 of them available. So once those are gone, you don't get the slipcover with them. But I've never heard of this movie. I'm not really sure what it's about. I thought maybe Mike would know, since He knows
Nah,
more
I've
about
never-
that stuff. Never heard of
Never
it.
heard of this movie. No.
Never have. Neither have I.
If
It
Mike
looks-
ain't heard about it, then that
yeah,
nobody's heard about it.
So it might be a collectible item for some people, especially with the limited slipcover. So
Yeah.
the invaluable, the true story of an epic artist. Probably should have looked up what it was really about before because I just saw it and I thought I might use that. So yeah, there's that. Let's see what else did I have. Here's one I've never heard of before. It's called The New Godfathers from 1979, available March 25th from Radio Video USA. Includes the US release cut of The New Godfathers with English audio. And that I've never heard of it. So, Mike, have you ever heard of that one?
Is that a Hong Kong action film?
It might be. It looks like it's a foreign movie. Yeah. So, it looks like it could be.
Remember
I say it
something
sounds
about
familiar.
Yeah. So, I didn't know much about that one. So, and that's it, other than our last two big titles.
Unless
you got something else, Tom.
Right. Let me double check here on my end. So we got.
Did we bring up The Well?
No, but that comes out on March 14th.
Yes, March 14th, The Well.
We got Star Trek, and last week we got People Under the Stairs. So yeah, I think we're pretty much caught up on that.
Yes.
So moving on to the one of the other bigger announcements of the week. We had heard rumors that we may be getting Toxic Avenger in 4K, but we didn't expect all 4 films.
That's right. I'm excited.
But yeah, so
Yes.
the announcement came through.
Yes.
Came from Lloyd himself.
Lloyd
Yes.
himself on August
Lloyd himself.
29th, 2023, we will get all 4 in 4K.
And
the
Blu-ray.
Toxic Avenger. Well, yeah, it'll just be the regular.
Yeah,
so
but
the Blu-rays
4K
I
is what I
already have.
really want. Yeah.
But of course, yeah, I just bought the Blu-ray set like a year or so ago. But yeah.
See, that's why, because I've been holding off, because I was going to buy the Blu-ray set because I haven't seen them in so long. And then I heard Lloyd himself talking about how he said at one point in time MVD was working on the first movie for 4K. And then
Right.
like the other day or whatever, when he announces, it was like all 4 of them on 4K. So I'm like, yeah, I just think I'll hold off on the Blu-ray now till that comes out. So yeah.
Well, you got lucky on that. I think I got it for pretty cheap anyway, so I'm not going to.
Yeah, it's not very expensive.
But
Or it was
It'd
at
be
one
nice if they
point.
had the animated series with this, though.
I would love the Toxic Crusaders.
That got released on one of the DVD sets, but it's like really it's long out of print and really expensive.
I was gonna say, I wonder if maybe there's a licensing deal with that they can't get around. Maybe.
Yeah, they used to have a DVD set. It was like the complete Toxic Avenger, had all 4 films and the animated series. But
yeah,
like I said, it's been out of print for a long time.
I think you can. I mean, I know we're physical media here, and I'm sounding like a runner now, but I think you can actually stream the Toxic Crusaders on the Troma Now app. So.
Oh, I'm assuming so.
Yeah.
And then other news: Zavi will no longer be shipping a vast majority of its steelbooks outside of the UK for the foreseeable future.
Yeah, I can't say I blame them for that one.
Yeah, well, they probably got yelled at by some people.
Well, it's probably too many steelbooks showing up with the extra travel, showing up dinged and dented.
Well, if that's the case, that's one thing. But like, I wonder if it has more to do with regioning.
No, I think this is totally about people complaining about that their steelbooks are arriving damaged. I have no doubt that's why.
Maybe
why that is.
If that's the case, well then tough shit, I guess, for us. But
yeah.
I was thinking the other side of it, if I'm not mistaken, a lot of the ones they release are like ones that we get here as Best Buy exclusives. So I wonder if Best Buy was bitching.
Possible.
I don't know that Best Buy's got that much pull anymore. So.
I'm not saying they do, but they're one of the well, to us maybe not, but to the industry when it comes to them being a retailer, they might. They get a lot of the exclusives here, so we got to keep that in mind. I mean,
True.
I noticed already Rocky 1 and 2 sold out in the. If you haven't got the steelbook, you're TOF, all right, or tough shit out of luck or whatever. Right now, you can get Rocky 3 and 4 on steelbook still, but that's it for now, unless you get it in the store when the day it comes out.
Yeah.
Good luck.
It's them Best Buy steelbooks, man.
I have a feeling this Rocky one is going to be a hot seller because, yeah, It's been a while since I've gotten a decent release. So
that'd be great. So
the only thing that's dumb about this is we're not getting any special features from what I've seen. I have like 3 copies of Rocky that I have kept just for the special features.
So this is just going to be like the movies with like.
As far as I know, it's just the movies only. Yeah.
So like the set with all 4 of them is going to be the same disc that they're putting in the steelbook, right?
I would imagine they're all the same.
Yeah, it should be. I wouldn't see why they have.
Because that set includes no special features on it.
Yeah, and that was another thing. Best Buy raised their prices too.
Yes, I've seen this. I've noticed that because you can get the Texas Chainsaw Massacre steelbook on Amazon for $39.99, and it's like $60 at Best Buy still. So yeah.
So needless to say, that's good luck getting your hands on Rocky here in a couple of weeks. Unless you want to just buy the 4-pack, which I'm sure will be in.
It looks like that's
cheaper, and it's cheaper, and it's probably going to be more readily available. So
yeah, I mean, much as I would love to get those steelbooks, if they're going to be that hard to get, I'll just opt for the stupid 4 set, even though that's stupid. But I just probably it'd be easier for me to get than those steelbooks.
Well, I just gotten in this habit where I just go and I go to Best Buy every couple of weeks, and I just go buy 4K steelbook or whatever, and just see whatever's up there. And if I like the look of it, I'll pre-order it. But if I don't really care for the look of it, I'll just wait for something else, unless I know it's some kind of exclusive or something like that.
I mean, if I can get to my Best Buy the day they release and they have them, I would buy the steelbooks. But if I can't, I'll probably just buy the set.
Yeah.
Steelbook simps.
Yeah,
I know. I'm not a big steelbook fan though, Mike. That's the thing. I'm really not.
I buy whatever is most cost effective. So,
and I understand
steelbook, so be it.
I have both. I'm kind of the middle ground. I'm like between cost effective and also collectability.
I'm with you on that.
And also like because there's times where like I regretted getting the steelbook. I regretted getting the steelbook of Batman because it didn't come with the Blu-rays. Like the newer box set doesn't come with the Blu-rays or whatever. But at that time, the original one did, so I could have gotten rid of my old Blu-rays. But now I'm stuck with my old Blu-rays just so I can keep the fucking special feature. Because there ain't no special features on it. Because that's the new thing, is to just kind of move just the movie only on the disc, and that's it.
Right.
For 4K.
But
even a lot of the boutique companies are starting to do this, I've noticed. It's kind of bugging me. Speaking of Kino, because they're one of them. Because they used to carry over both the special features on the Blu-rays and the 4Ks in some cases, but unless it was just too many to fit. But like in this case, like lately, it's just been movie only, and that's it.
Yep, pretty much.
But maybe you get lucky. They obviously have a commentary on there, but I can't wait till they stop doing that too.
Yeah, percentages. We're just putting it on 4K. We don't need to talk to these people about these movies. We got the commentary from before for the Blu-ray, so
yeah. But other than that, the big announcement for the day just kind of took us by surprise this morning. Paramount announced for 4/18, the 2 days before 4/20. So we'll have it in time for 4/20.
Yes, sir.
Cheech and Chong, Up in Smoke. Which I've been kind of waiting for this one, to be honest with you, because the anniversary they did like 4 or 5 years ago, whatever it was. That was from the new 4K scan. So this is the same scan, I guarantee it. I'm
hoping, because like we've talked multiple times about Paramount, I'm hoping that the scan is good, because Paramount's not good at doing what they do.
Well, the Blu-ray looked okay, from my recollection, and I've got like 3 copies of it. But
have a bite of your hot dog.
What do you guys want? Oh shit. But no, like this is a classic. Do I expect it to be like a reference quality 4K? No.
Yeah, but I've never cared for Cheech and Chong.
Really?
Oh, I love them.
I've seen all the old classic movies, but I've just never really cared for them.
I can get it. They're kind of, I guess, a taste thing, I suppose.
I remember Paul Rubens. Is that the one Paul Rubens is in?
He's in Nice Dreams.
Oh
That's
man,
Nice Dreams. That's
nice dreams.
yeah.
I've seen so many of them, and I haven't seen them in a while. They start to blend in my mind.
I
I can't
actually
remember which ones are which, but I love them.
sadly I know most of them pretty well. Yeah.
I love them though. I thought it was fun. You ever see that Chong commercial where he's like doing the Matthew McConaughey thing behind like the Lincoln style
No.
commercial? Oh, you never seen that?
No, I'll have to check that out
Oh,
on YouTube.
dude, you got to check it out if I can find it. It's him. He's like he's in a suit and he's in a car like the Matthew McConaughey Lincoln commercials, and he's talking just like it. You know, the narration, and everything, and it's for his wipes to keep wiping yourself down after you smoke, so you don't smell like weed. It is like all of a sudden it's like somebody knocks on the door and he's like, "How long have I been sitting here?" He hasn't even moved. He's already in front of the office where he's supposed to be, and he's not even driving the whole time. It's hilarious. You got to see it. I got to find it. And I'll send you the link.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I'm sure it's on YouTube.
Yeah.
You were gonna say something, Mike?
No, I was just laughing. Just laughing.
Oh, before he had brought up the thing, I thought you were gonna say something. But no, like I'm looking forward to it. I don't, like I said, I don't expect it to blow us away. I think it's from the older scan anyway.
It's
But,
probably better if it is.
Hopefully it does. Okay, I don't know if anybody remembers this. I doubt anybody but me remembers this. But Still Smoking got delayed by like 4 years or 2 years or whatever it is. I finally got it like last year on Blu-ray because Up in Smoke and Still Smoking were supposed to come out the same day. And I have no idea what got in the way, but they ended up having to cancel Still Smoking. And then it finally came out a little bit ago. And I have no idea what it was. I was assuming maybe it was the Prince song caught things up or something or what. But whatever it was got worked out and it's finally out. But no new special features or nothing. Because I think it was also... Because that's the other thing too, is I think Still Smoking was also supposed to get remastered and it didn't. Because like the scan and everything they have on it is not the greatest. It's all right, but it looks like it's from the old DVD scan. But yeah.
But
I mean, it's HD, but I mean, yeah.
I liked it. I really do like Teen Song. It has been quite some time since I've seen them, but I'm looking forward to this. I will be picking this one up. I have better hopes for this one than I do Flashdance, because I probably won't pick up the Flashdance 4K, but I will probably pick up this one.
And then that scan's from the same era. See, they did a bunch of those back then. So like, yeah.
Oh, really? Well, well, maybe we'll see. Like, we'll see. I get hesitant buying Paramount ones, but I'm definitely buying this one because I really want the 4K upgrade on Cheech and Chong. I want that. That. Yeah.
Well, I was expecting Valiant by now, but I guess he got.
Yeah, I wonder if you held up.
Yeah, or he didn't see the email. I told him I sent it an email. That's very plausible.
Very plausible. Yeah. But yeah, I'm looking forward to that. The last couple titles here that we just talked about, the Toxic Avenger and that Up in Smoke, I'm really looking forward to. So I cannot wait to purchase them. Those are going to be some good ones to add to the collection.
Absolutely, positively, I agree. Mm-hmm. Speaking of adding to the collection, let's start with you, Mike. Is there anything you picked up lately that you want to recommend or gripe about to our audience?
Well, today I received something that I'd forgotten that I'd pre-ordered, and that is Return of Swamp Thing from MVD on 4K.
Nice.
Mine's not supposed to get here till tomorrow now, I guess.
Yeah. I guess, well, they probably didn't have enough copies to get them to everybody on a release day.
I pre-order them as soon as I can, man. It's bullshit.
Oh, yeah. I pre-ordered this. I pre-ordered this as soon as it went up, too, and I just got it a day later. But, yeah, I'm looking forward to checking that out tonight.
I've been meaning to get that one. I haven't picked it up yet, but I've been meaning to.
Also got a package from Vinegar Syndrome a few days ago. Got From Beyond on 4K. That looks really good. Yeah, That's a really nice disc. But that's the only one out of the films I picked up from Vinegar Syndrome that I've checked out so far. So
yeah, I got a couple from Vinegar, but one of those is going to be one of my picks. I did get From Beyond, but I haven't got a chance to check it out. And I also got was it Freeway or whatever with Kiefer Sutherland?
Oh yeah, with Kiefer and Reese Witherspoon. Yeah.
Yeah. But Greg, anything you've picked up recently?
Recently, which I did do 2 reviews on this already, and there will be a pick tonight. I got the double feature from Shout Factory of Dance with Death and Dance of the Damned. I really enjoyed those. So I look forward to talk to you guys about that tonight, because not a lot of people watch the videos I did on them 2 movies. So, but yeah, they were pretty good, and I'm expecting a couple new things by the end of this week, which I'll have better titles then. So
Those just sound like late night Skinamax flicks.
oh,
to
they
me.
were
Yeah,
the
they do.
Roger Corman stripper
Okay.
movies.
Oh, there you
Okay.
go.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they're great. The first one, Dance with Death, a news reporter goes undercover as a stripper to solve some murderers because strippers are getting killed. I mean, that's all you really need to know. That movie's awesome. And the second one is a vampire becomes infatuated with a stripper, and it's basically just two people the whole movie, and he makes a deal with her to end her pain because he thinks he wants to die if she will sit and talk to him all night and tell him about what it's like to be a human, and it's just crazy. It's Roger
I've
Corman
seen
at his
that.
best. They
For some
actually
reason, that
remade
sounds
it.
familiar. Okay,
They actually
maybe.
remade it with Scott Valentine called
Yeah, 'cause that sounds
To
very
Sleep
familiar.
with a Vampire.
Yeah, that sounds familiar. Maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I ordered that
Huh.
one because now I wanted to see the remake after watching the original. So yeah,
Man, Scott Valentine, that's a name right there. Isn't it?
I know. I mean, I'm waiting on my Demon Lover. Where's my Demon Lover Blu-ray?
Yeah,
Where is
because I
that?
don't think I've ever seen him in anything outside of My Demon Lover and Family Ties.
Apparently, he was in the remake of Dance of the Damned called To Sleep with a Vampire.
Well, yeah, apparently
Yeah,
so.
Yeah,
There you go.
yeah. Oh, he also played Metallo on Lois and Clark. So
I can't remember that. Oh, Lois and Clark. Yeah. Okay,
yeah, Lois and Clark with Dean Cain. He played Metallo.
Yeah. No, actually, I got like Mike said, I got a Vinegar Syndrome box this week, and aside from the two titles already mentioned, I got Sidekicks
Yes.
with Chuck Norris and Jonathan Brandis, and it has been 30 fucking years probably since I've seen this movie. Because some of this movie is not what I remember it being, and then the other parts of it, I'm just like, there's like 20 minutes missing from the beginning of this movie. As a kid, I wouldn't have noticed, but as an adult, I'm really noticing. But I can see why, because the movie starts to drag midway through, and it's like, again, I'm not giving the movie a bad review, but I mean, it still holds up as far as decent kid fun or whatever it is, for whatever you want to call it. But
it's one of the better Karate Kid knockoffs.
It is, but it's also still wearing a lot of its age in the film itself. But the transfer by Vinegar Syndrome is top notch. I thought Sony owned this movie, but I guess they don't. They just had distribution, I guess, at the time. But no, because this looks like an independent company must have owned it. But Vinegar Syndrome did the scan. Looks beautiful. Great grain structure. This is the way 4K scans, especially of this era, should look. It's got the standard 2.0 stereo sound on it, which sounded just fine. I haven't got a chance to check out any of the special features yet. There's a collection of interviews and stuff on there. Nothing with Chuck Norris that I saw, but with Aaron Norris, yes. I think there's something on there with him, if I'm not mistaken. But
didn't he co-write it?
He directed it, yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
he directed. Yeah, that's right. He directed it.
Yeah.
I couldn't remember if he directed it or wrote it.
What's funny is I think this is like one of the biggest budgeted films that Chuck Norris ever did, wasn't it? I mean, like, I got to imagine it.
And a lot of it is his movies that he already done. It's just like reshot with him.
Well, that's what I'm saying. You got to. I was stopping to think about it because I'm watching this movie, going, "Wow, this is a very expensive film if you think about it." Because I don't know what the budget was, but you're right. Like they recreated almost every one of Chuck's movies, plus the Western.
Yeah,
and like a couple other brand new things. Like wow, they really did. And the production value wise and all that kind of stuff, it's good. It's just that it's got a weird stumbling getting started, and you could tell in some scenes there's some shit missing. Like it really feels like it rushes to get to the main plot, and then it meanders forever in the Karate Kid teachings.
right.
And at the end, for some reason, when I was a kid, or from my recollection from when we were talking about this, because I think you said, and you remembered it the same way, Greg, I remember, for some reason, Chuck Norris being a judge at the thing. And no, actually, he fights with Jonathan Brandis at this thing, because they need a 4-team team. I'm like, oh, yeah. I don't remember that exactly, but I guess, yeah. For some reason, I totally spaced that out.
I think some people get confused that he's a judge because of Dodgeball. He's a judge in Dodgeball.
That's what it is, yes.
Yeah. So, because it's like, fuck you, Chuck Norris. That's what Ben Stiller says.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I think people get that, for whatever reason, they get that confused. But yeah, he was actually attending the show because he was like the celebrity guest or whatever.
Yeah. And then he has this bone to pick, of course, with Joe Pescopo's character. who has like very little
Crease on
setup.
crack.
Very little setup. That's the thing, is like all this setup is like gone from this movie, it feels like. Because like the movie just jumps in what it feels like 20 minutes into the movie.
Yeah.
Like you missed the first 20 minutes of the movie and you're just like, okay, I get what's going on, so it don't matter. But like there's some setup missing somewheres, and like a perfect example is the scene at the Chinese restaurant. There's clearly a chunk of that scene missing. Because you keep bouncing back and forth from the dinner to the grandpa and Mako's character, and Jonathan Brandy's in the
funky
kitchen.
For anybody else?
Is it me?
Yeah, you're roboting really bad.
Sound clear?
It's sounding clear for you, Greg?
Yeah, sounded clear for me. I heard you.
Okay.
Am I sounding good out there? Maybe it's just you then, Mike. But anyway, then they cut to the next scene over, and all of a sudden there's like a whole room full of bikers. And it's like, where the fuck did these bikers come from? And as a kid, I didn't question it, but now I'm like, as an adult, I'm going, huh?
What? Maybe they figured they needed to get to the story quicker.
They did,
so
obviously.
so
Obviously, that's
it's
clearly
just too much padding in between or something.
Because looking at the movie, because once it gets past that 20, like what you clear, because the movie's like hour and 41 minutes, and that's why I mean it's like there's like 20 minutes of the beginning of the movie missing. The movie probably ran 2 hours, and they're like, you got to get this under 2 hours. It's a kids movie, you know.
Yeah,
so.
they're not going to sit that long.
No, so like I think that's what it was. Is like get them into the story, boom, boom, boom. Because there's like zero setup for the chick bringing her grandpa over to teach him karate. She just starts talking about it like they've already had this conversation before. And the bully doesn't even start bullying him until after the grandpa's there. So like they're trying to switch things around in the plot just so it's not as much of a Karate Kid clone. But like at the same time, you're just like, you might as well have just not, because now it's just getting confusing.
Yeah. But I mean, Danica McKellar, she was hot.
Oh, it's got a great cast. It's like I said, you could tell they put some money into it at the time. I mean, you got to remember, Jonathan Brandy's was hot as hot could be at this point. I mean,
you remember Ladybugs?
Exactly. Like, I mean, this kid was pretty much what you would consider an A-list kid star. I mean, no kid was bigger at that period other than maybe Macaulay Culkin, arguably, you know. Maybe Edward Furlong, but even Edward Furlong was only 2 movies out and then he was done.
Yeah.
You know, like,
he didn't last long.
No.
But yeah, I remember, and which is sad too, because that's not to get in all of it, but that's why he did what he did when he got over. But anyway, he was huge at that time. And I remember having fond memories of this. Next to like the Three Ninjas, this was probably my favorite Karate Kid ripoff. And like you said, it had the budget, the Chuck Norris, and just it was a good cast.
Yeah, and I mean, Chuck is hardly in the film as far as like any real presence, but I mean, that's the beauty of the film. Like, it almost feels like this movie was written as a generic movie that could have been for Schwarzenegger, Stallone, whoever, and it just got passed down the line.
Yeah,
to Chuck Norris. That's where they inserted some of this other stuff with the karate business, and then like, oh shit, we got a Karate Kid clone here. Because it feels like this movie is almost a couple different movies at some point. Feels like one of the part of the movie should be that this kid's just a dreamer, because like that's part of the whole point. Like the karate stuff just feels like secondhanded. Like, because the true plot of the film feels like the kid's a dreamer, and they shouldn't, stop the kid from dreaming, because dreamers, eventually go on to create things. And what it basically feels like it's doing is setting the kid up to be a filmmaker, right?
Sort of, yeah.
And you could even have, whether it was Clint Eastwood or whoever, be his favorite actor in the middle. It didn't matter who picked up the script. You could just tailor it from there. Yeah. And then the whole thing is like, okay, well, we got Chuck Norris as the guy. Well, what Chuck Norris is known for is obviously karate, so they had to add all that kind of shit in there. Because otherwise, a lot of this stuff you could generically plugged in Stallone or anybody for that.
Yeah. And then
this almost feels like it was written around the same time as Last Action Hero. Sorry, Greg.
No, you're right. You're right. I agree with you. And then it almost sort of gets supernatural at the end when he leaves the magazine there. Another kid picks it up, and it's like, has it Chuck Norris passed on to him now? So,
yeah, it was kind of weird. But
so it's like what?
Which is funny because I do remember that part vividly as a kid. That's the weird thing, is everything I remember from a kid, except for the last quarter of the film or whatever, just felt like, wait, this is not how I remember it going. But okay, you're right. I think I got Dodgeball, probably some other things confused with it, but like clearly this is the most blatant ripoff of Karate Kid of all of them. That's for sure. But no, that was it. It looks good. Sounds good. I can recommend it on that level. As far as the movie itself holding up, if you haven't seen it in like 30 years, you might want to wait till it's on sale. Comes in a nice box though and everything. I'll show that tonight on physical media, which comes up in what, Greg?
At 9:30 Eastern, and I think that would be 8:30 your time.
Just under 90 minutes from now.
Yeah, under 90 minutes. Yeah, 90 minutes. There you go.
Mike,
and it's gonna be a good time.
Yes.
Anything you got coming up you want to plug, or besides your channel?
No, actually not.
All right. But
and I just caught it. We got a member chat from the Old Man Cometh.
Oh yeah.
It says, "Hail all Etar ways at the and up. Hail all Etar ways and Up in Smoke are the first movies I remember watching at the drive-in back in." I'm trying to interpret some of this because there's some misspellings here. Back in when I was a young kid cometh. Back in the 70s. Okay. So he meant back in the 70s when he's a young kid. Those were the first movies he saw in a drive-in. Wow, excellent. I think it was supposed to be
Star Wars and Up in Smoke. The first movies I remember watching at the drive-in back when I was a young kid.
That's right. It probably is Star Wars.
Yeah.
Etar Ways.
Ratu.
I have no idea what the hell Etar Ways is, but...
I said the words right more or less.
I didn't want to say he was wrong. I was trying to interpret it, buddy.
I thought it might have been an acronym for something. I don't know.
I didn't know either. Man, I think either just typed too fast, or if he's like me on his phone, and
just I always trying to get it out real quick.
I know I must be fun to read sometimes. The chat is finally catching up with us. So with that, though, we're going to wrap this up since we've got your show here in about roughly 90 minutes anyway.
Mm-hmm.
Greg, check out Mike on Astro Skull Media. Check out Valliant Renegade, even though he didn't just show up tonight. And hopefully everything's okay with him.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, take care of yourselves and each other, and we'll see you on the next round.
Peace.
Where's my button?
It's right there to your left.